I think that there's a number of interesting trends that we're seeing. First of all, in these industrial applications, it's a very broad topic, and so it's difficult to just define one small area. And so we've seen a few different areas where I think it's really been emerging. One of those areas has to do with the use of lasers to produce nanoscale structures for industrial applications. For instance, we had a very interesting paper submitted on creating nanoscale structures that would be hydrophobic. Another very interesting area where we've seen is actually the other side of production. Instead of making things very small, making things very large. Particular, we have some very interesting papers on direct laser manufacturing of parts. So whether it's printing of conductors for electronics or even fully forming a part like a gear or a cog or something like that, people are doing that with lasers. And so there's a number of interesting trends in these areas as well. One of our invited talks is using femtosecond lasers to create very sharp features on a surface which basically trap light, so the light can't get out. It kind of gets in and kind of bounces around. And they're looking at making things like photodetectors and photovoltaics out of these. And so, really that's an example of maybe the science was done a few years back, but yet they're taking this and they're learning and they're going to talk about how do we transition this technology from basic science arena into more industrial applied type of applications. And so, that's really kind of the trends, I think, in what we're seeing is moving these technologies into the industrial setting. One of our invited speakers is from the printing industry, and they use lasers to create structures on gravure type printing. That's sort of a complicated way to think about like a roll that has a pattern on it. And as you roll that over a sheet of paper or whatever, it produces a printing structure. And they're using lasers currently in their technology to create the types of structures on these print rolls. And they're going to talk about how the way you use the laser affects the shape of these small features and how that affects the printing that you would get. So that would be a case where it is already out there, and they're looking at how to understand the technology, how do you improve these processing steps.